السلام عليكم. الفيديو ده هنكمل فيه شرح ال Working Capital Management وهنبتدي نتكلم على ال Financial Planning للشركة. This video is going to continue the interpretation of the Working Capital Management and give examples about financial planning for companies. What's the meaning of Working Capital Management? Simply, working capital is the difference or is current assets minus non-interest bearing current liabilities, or as a common, it's current assets minus current liabilities. And the policy of working capital is to determine how you are going to finance current assets and which type of assets you are going to rely on. Working capital management is how to deal or how to manage efficiently the components of the working capital, which is cash, inventory, and account receivable. The following example is showing evaluating financial plans. This example talking about two different financing plans, which is plan A and plan B, and you have the TA is total assets, share price for each one, the interest, which is the interest that is going to be paid on the loan or on debt, tax rate, which is 40%, LTC اللي هي total, which is total cost. If the total revenues required, if the total revenues equal $100,000, which plan is better? The other case, if the total revenues equal to 100,000, which plan is better? And the third one, if the total revenues equal to 80,000, which plan is better? Which means we are going to determine which plan is better in three different situations. If the total revenue is 110, 100, and 80. In order to determine the solution or to decide which plan is better, you have to follow certain steps. يبقى أنا عندي الإكزامبل اللي قدامي ده مديني خطتين تمويليتين لشركة، خطة A وخطة B، وبيقول إن الخطة the plan A depends 100% on equity financing, which means the company is not going to borrow in plan A, but in plan B 50% of financing will depend on equity and 50% will depend on debt. يعني الشركة في الخطة B هتعتمد في تمويلها على 50% ملكية و50% ديون مديونية أو قرض أو هتستلف يعني فلوس. خلاص، وشايفين الشير برايس ب 15، التوتال اسيتس ب 300,000 in both plans. طيب ايه الستبس؟ In order to solve this exercise you have to follow 4 steps. The first one is to calculate the earning per share or the EPS, which is the profit per share, the profit per share, to choose the best plan. The EPS equal the earning after taxes or the net profit after taxes over the number of shares. The second step, you have to use the income statement, because in order to determine the net profit you have to use the income statement. The third step, in plan B you have 50% of financing relying on equity and 50% of financing relying on debt, which means 150,000 is debt and the interest is $15,000. From where we got these numbers? The total assets equal to $300,000 in both plans, which means that the total owner's equity 300,000. 50% rely on debt and 50% rely on equity, which means half of the 150,000 will be debt and 150,000 will be equity. And the interest rate in plan B is 10% on debt or on loans, which means we are going to multiply the $150,000 times 10% will give me $15,000. Debt, which means 150,000 is debt and the interest is $15,000. The fourth step, the number of shares in plan A is $300,000 over 15, which means equal to 20,000 shares, and for plan B is $150,000 over 15 equal 10,000 shares. Yeah, the fourth step we are going to divide in plan A 300,000 over total equity over number over price per share to determine the number of shares, which will be 300,000 over 15 equal 20,000 shares, and in plan B it will be 150,000 over 15 10,000 shares. يبقى أنا علشان أحل المسألة في 4 حاجات هعملهم في الأول. أول حاجة هحتاج إن أنا أحسب ال EPS اللي هو عبارة عن ال net profit after tax على عدد الأسهم أو number of shares. هستخدم طبعا ال income statement عشان أقدر أطلع ال earning after tax أو net profit after tax. تالت حاجة هبتدي أقول plan B بتعتمد 50% منها على الايكويتي و50% منها على الديت. يبقى معنى كده ايه؟ ان انا عندي ال 300,000 التوتال اسيتس او الانفستمنت نصها ديت اللي هي ال 150,000 ونصها ايكويتي. بما ان البلان بي بتدفع انترست على الديت او على اللون او على البوروينج بتاعتها 10%، يبقى معنى كده ان الانترست هنا 10% من 150,000 هيديني 15,000. طيب رابع حاجة أنا عايزة أحسب النمبر of shares في كل خطة علشان أقدر أحسب ال EPS. I have to determine the number of shares in each plan in order to be able to calculate the EPS. So in plan A أنا هقسم 300,000 على 15 اللي هو الشير برايس، لأن التوتال فاينانسنج عندها أو التوتال اونرز ايكويتي كلها depends على الايكويتي 300,000. البلان بي انا عندي ال 50 equity وال 50% debt، ف I'm going to divide the 150,000 على 15 يديني 10,000 shares. يبقى انا في بلان بي في بلان A عندي 20,000 shares وفي بلان B عندي 10,000 shares. The income statement in the first situation, in which the total revenue equal to 110,000, will be as follows in Plan A and Plan B. In Plan A, the total revenue is equal to 110,000. The total cost equal to 70% of the revenues, which means 70% times 110 equals 77,000 in Plan A and Plan B. The earning before interest and tax will be equal to 33 in Plan A, 33,000, and 33,000 in Plan B, which is 110 minus the 77,000. Minus the interest in Plan A equals 0 because there is no debt, and in Plan B equal to 15,000, which we have calculated in the previous slide by multiplying 10% by the 150,000 equal to 15,000. So the earning before tax will be 33,000 minus 0 equal to 33, and in Plan B 33,000 minus 15,000 will be equal to 18. Minus the tax, which is 40% of the earning before tax, which means 33,000 times 40% will be equal to 13,200, and 18,000 times 40% will be equal to 7,200. Earning after tax or net profit after tax equal to 33 minus the tax equal 19,800, and in Plan B 18,000 minus 7,200. The result will be 10,800 divided the number of shares, which is 20,000 shares in Plan A and 10,000 shares in Plan B. So the EPS for Plan A will be equal to 0.99 and for Plan B equal to 10.58, which means Plan B is better in the first situation, in which the total revenue is equal to 110,000 because its earning per share equal to 10.58, which is higher than 0.99, which is the EPS for Plan A. يعني احنا زي ما احنا شايفين عملنا income statement فيها التو plans، حطينا التوتال revenues زي ما واضح قدامكم minus ال 70% اللي هي التوتال cost. هنعمل ال revenues minus ال cost يديني ال earning before interest and tax. هطرح ال interest اللي هي في البلان الأولانية بزيرو لأن كلها بتعتمد على الإيكوتي، وفي البلان بي زي ما حسبنا من السلايد اللي قبل كده الانترست هي عبارة عن 10% من الدين اللي هو 150 لأنه 50% of financing التوتال financing 300,000. so الانترست equal to 15 لان بعيد تاني الانترست ريت هي كأنها الاكسبنس اللي بدفعها لما ابورو money او باخد لون. طرحتهم من ال 33 اداني ال earning before tax minus 40% التاكس دي بضرب ال 40% في ال earning اللي هي ال 33 هتديني في بلان A 13200 وفي بلان B 7200. يبقى ال earning after tax أو ال earning بعد ما شلت منها التاكس في A 19800 وفي B 10800. بقسمهم على ال number of shares which already calculated from the previous slide اللي هو في بلان A 20,000 shares وفي بلان B 10,000 shares هيديني earning per share في بلان A 0.99 وفي بلان B 10.58. هنيجي للسيتويشن التاني. In the second situation we are going to make the income statement for both plans. We are going to do the same steps like the previous slide by changing numbers, which means the total revenue here equal to $100,000 in both plans. We are going to follow the same steps like the previous situation, and we are going to reach to the earning per share will be equal to 0.9 in plan A and 0.9 in plan B, which means that the EPS is the same in both plans. So then both plans will generate the same EPS, so we can choose any one of them. يعني احنا هنعمل نفس الستبس اللي عملناها في السيتويشن اللي قبليه. هنوصل هنغير بس التوتال ريفينيوز اللي فوق اللي هي هنا في السيتويشن التاني ب100,000. هنوصل ان الاي بي اس في التو بلانز هيبقى هو يعني هيبقى 0.9. فبالتالي احنا نقدر نختار اي منهم لان الاتنين بيدوني نفس الايرنينج بير شير. هنيجي في السيتويشن التالت. In the third situation we are going to follow the same steps by making income statement for both plans. The total revenue value only will change. It will be 80,000 in both plans, and we are going to calculate all the steps and follow the same steps like the previous situations until we reach to the EPS at the last row. In plan A it will be 0.72, in plan B it will be 0.54, which means that plan A is better than plan B in case that the total revenue is equal to 80,000. Finally, the conclusion after the three situations that the company should choose plan B in case that it has high total revenues, and it should choose plan A if it has low total revenues. In the first situation, when the total revenues was equal to $110,000, so it was better to choose plan B because it gives higher EPS. And plan B depends 50% on equity and 50% on debt. In the third situation, in which we have $80,000 as total revenues, it's better for the company to choose plan A because it gives higher earning per share, and plan A depends 100% on equity. Thank you.